during the regular season. That matches the all-time record set by the 1906 Chicago Cubs. When you win that many, you're doing a lot of things well.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? They remind you a lot of the Yankees, a very complete team with very few superstars on it. But what they do is they do the little things well. They keep pressure on you from the first pitch of the game. They can play small ball. They can run a little bit. They bunt guys over and they get them in. And that's an outstanding offense. And as far as their defense is concerned, it is outstanding. But there's two guys on this team that need to step it up. Brett Boone did not have a good divisional series. This is a guy that led the league in RBIs, but he struck out 11 times in 21 at-bats during the divisionals, and Aaron Seeley needs to step it up big times. He's 0-4 in the postseason. 3 of those losses have come to the Yankees. He's got to get a good feel for that curveball and then throw it and throw it and throw it.
Seeley has not pitched well this season against the Yankees. Andy Pettit has not pitched as well this season against Seattle. Each team extended to 5 games in the division series. Here we go in the league championship series next. A beautiful day in Seattle, nary an empty seat here at Safeco Field. They love their Mariners, who won 116 games during the regular season. And now they will rise and cheer, anticipating the Mariners taking the field. Steve, this is a rematch of last year's American League Championship Series. The Yankees winners in 6 games. The Mariners believe it is their turn to get to the World Series this go-round.
Oh, when you think about the season that they had, there's no reason that they can't think that way. And certainly on the other side of the coin there, in that other dugout, when you look at the Yankees and the success that they've had over the past 5 seasons, you have to at least say that when it comes down to the big games, the Yankees win them. And until there's a team that can step up and knock them off and prove them wrong, you almost have to continue to say that. These Mariners think that they are that team.
Joe Torre before the game was still wearing that cap. The great quote by Yogi Berra, "It ain't over till it's over." You asked him, "Are you superstitious? You've been wearing that hat all week." He said no, and then he explained to us how he's not superstitious, and then went into 10 minutes on how he is superstitious.
Yeah, he called them routines.
And here come the Mariners. And can Ichiro go? Many of you across the country who are seeing the Mariners really play for the first time, an extended period of time over the next week, perhaps longer, a week for sure, he in the ALCS. He is some kind of exciting player. You're going to enjoy it. Time to take a look at the starting lineup for the 3-time defending world champion Yankees. Brought to you by Kia. Leading off playing left field is Chuck Knobloch. Derek Jeter, the shortstop. David Justice, the designated hitter. Bernie Williams in center field. Tino Martinez at first. Jorge Posada behind the plate. Paul O'Neill in right. Scott Brosius at third. Alfonso Soriano, the Yankees second baseman. Against a veteran right-hander, a 15-game winner during the regular year, Aaron Seeley.
Hey, look at the record for Aaron Seeley at 15-5. Got up to a great start this season. Struggled a little bit in the second half and has struggled in the postseason. You look at the scouting report for Aaron. I'll tell you what, a lot of people say don't fall in love with one pitch, but Aaron Seeley has to fall in love with his curveball. He's got to get a feel for it early and throw it a lot. He's got to spot that fastball in and out, up and down in the zone. And a lot of people think that Aaron Seeley's soft. He had that reputation when he played with the Boston Red Sox. When I played with him there, he is not soft. He is a competitor. He will go out there and compete.
Let's take a look at the defense behind Seeley, the #1 ranked defense in the American League. Uner getting a start in left field, Cameron in center, Ichiro in right. Ichiro will more than likely win a Gold Glove this year. Boone has done that already with Cincinnati in '98. Carlos Guillen activated for this series. He had been suffering from tuberculosis, did not play in the division series. Bell and Olerud on the corners. Seeley and the veteran Dan Wilson behind the plate. They pronounced Carlos Guillen set to go after working out here yesterday, and we are set to go in game one. And Chuck Knobloch, first pitch, swinging base hit into right center field.
This is a great sign for Chuck Knobloch and the Yankees. Kind of went through a dry spell late in the season, but during the postseason, Knobloch done a pretty good job of being the catalyst on that team. That's just a fastball right down Broadway that he hits the other way. The problem for Chuck Knobloch a little bit lately is he's gotten a little big, thinking that he can hit the ball out of the yard. He only hit 9 home runs this year. This is what he has to do in order for the Yankees to go.
Now Derek Jeter during the postseason, 8 hits, 18 at-bats. But of course, he'll forever be remembered, among many, many other things. And he swings and misses strike one for what is being called simply the play. Game 3, preserving a 1-0 lead. The shovel feed on the missed cutoff throw from Shane Spencer to cut down Jeremy Giambi at the plate, and a 1-0 Yankee win, and then giving his body up in foul territory, tumbling into the stands in Game 5. That ball driven hard into left center field. Cameron will go get it. 1 away. This is very much a pitcher's park.
When you think of some of the reasons why some of the great players for the Mariners have left town, King Griffey Jr. and A-Rod, both of them have said that, you know, the fact that you can't hit the ball out of this yard was one of the factors. This is a big, big outfield. The ball does not jump here, and that will benefit the pitchers. Aaron Seeley, in that case, throw one right down the middle. Let's see how far you can hit it, and I'll let Cameron run it down.
Especially this time of year. They get rain regularly here during the wintertime, especially the early fall now. Rained all day yesterday. They're calling for rain later today. So you mix about 54 degrees along with some damp air. You grew up in this part of the country.
This is the Pacific Northwest, my friend. It rains 9 months out of the year up here, and we love it.
David Justice looks at a strike. Justice only 3 of 13 in the division series. Already having words with home plate umpire Ed Montague over that strike one pitch. You said all along you think Justice gets the nastiest pitches all the time.
Nobody gets pitched tougher than David Justice. It is unbelievable, the pitches that he sees that are on the black all day long. And he still finds a way to hit.
1-1. He had the big pinch hit home run.
Let's take a look at sorry, Tom. Take a look at the first pitch to Justice. Look at that nasty tailing fastball away out on the black. Justice didn't like it, but this is the first strike.
Keep an eye on Knobloch. Had 38 stolen bases during the regular season. Was thrown out 9 times. And that's what Seeley will do.
Of course, the guys in this lineup for the Yankees that can run: Jeter with 27 stolen bases, Knobloch with 38, Soriano, of course, 43. They will be trying to challenge Aaron Seeley here. And notice I mentioned Seeley and not Wilson. Seeley with the big curveball, slow to the plate. They want to run on that pitch.
Knobloch leaning a little bit. Fastball misses away, and Seeley saying, oh, wait a minute now. That first pitch looked identical to that pitch. The first time a strike, this time a ball.
Seeley not close enough to argue. Watch what Aaron Seeley does to try to hold the runners. This is called a slide step. Just doesn't pick up the leg very far. Just heads straight to home plate without the big leg kick. That'll keep the runners a little closer.
Keeps trying that outside corner after he got the first call in this at-bat. The first pitch in this at-bat. Has not gotten the call since.
Well, and that's exactly what you should do. He got the first pitch away. That one might be a little lower than the first pitch that was called a strike, but Aaron Seeley's doing exactly what you should do. Try to establish yourself. Once you get a call, keep throwing it out there and keep hoping to get those calls. He's a little frustrated right now because he's saying, hey, you gave it to me the first time. Where's the next 2?
Runner goes, and it's fouled away by Justice. We figure to see plenty of running in this series. These were the top 2 base-stealing teams in the American League. Both managers saying, and of course both managers spending either some of their playing career or some of their managerial careers in the National League. Both very much like the National League style of play. They'll use a hit and run. They'll bunt. They'll move runners over, and they will straight steal. Three-two to Justice. Knobloch runs. Ground ball. Diving play made by Olerud. It'll go to the bag. Knobloch advancing to second. That's a big play by Olerud.
John Olerud's going to be a big key to this series, both at the plate and defensively. Look how great of a job he does of coming off of the bag after holding Knobloch. Knobloch on the run. He got back to his position very, very well. Again, 1, 2, 3 steps on a hop to get back to that area. Very easy for a first baseman to get lazy, and just as the guy goes, you just take a step off the bag and say, now I'm playing first base. That's not playing first base.
Runner at second, and here's Bernie Williams. 4 hits and 18 at-bats during the division series against Oakland. Knocked in 5 runs. All 5 RBIs came in 1 game. Neither team hit during the division series with runners in scoring position. Obviously, they hit enough because they're playing today. But the Mariners hit 188 during the division series. The Yankees hit 211.
And that's as much a tribute to the great pitching that we've seen so far in the postseason as it is to anything else.
1-0. Very tight strike zone early on. That's something to keep an eye on. Again, Ed Montague behind the plate.
You know, and I think Aaron Seeley will now figure out that at that point on the first pitch that Montague called a strike and Justice had some words for him, I think Montague probably says to himself, I missed that call. So if you're going to keep going out there, I'm going to call it a ball now to let you know that, hey, I gave you one there. I'm not going to give you that pitch all night off the plate. Certainly don't blame Seeley for going back out there a few more times, but now he should realize I'm not going to get that one anymore.
Tried the breaking ball, smothered by Dan Wilson. 3 balls and no strikes. Bernie Williams has always delivered for the Yankees in the playoffs, especially in the league championship series. You see very good career numbers in 71 postseason games, but look at the numbers in the LCS.
That's why he's smiling so much. I'll tell you what, when you jump up and throw up numbers like that, when the pressure's on, when it's the biggest stage, when everyone's at the ballpark and when everyone's talking about you, and you come up and get it done, that's when you can call yourself a player.
3-0. Comes with a breaking ball on the 3-0 pitch, and Williams looks at a strike.
How about that? 3-0. Nasty breaker. This is the curveball we're talking about from Seeley. Big top to bottom break. Yeah, it's tough to pick out a place to hit that pitch.
(3-1) to Williams. And it's off the outside corner again, and it's ball 4 to Bernie Williams. The inning will continue to Tino Martinez. Seeley has outstanding control. At one point this season, he went 23 consecutive innings without allowing a walk. Only walked 51 batters in well over 215 innings on the year.
Seeley has kind of come up with a new pitch this year. He's sinking the ball a lot more than he used to. He used to throw a lot more four-seamers, but he doesn't throw that hard. You know, low 90s at best. He was having trouble throwing the ball by guys. Now he's trying to sink the ball more and get some more ground balls.
How about the shadows, Steve? Sunlight to shadows between the mound and the plate.
It's going to become a problem because in this area, when the pitcher is in the light and the hitter is in the dark, is when it's the toughest. And that's what the situation is right now.
0-1. Good fastball to the inside corner, and just like that, Seeley in front, 0-2. And now better than 44,000 will come to their feet here in Seattle.
You know, the only way to really describe those shadows is if you're standing in a room and someone is standing up against the window with the sun behind them, and you're looking at that person. A lot of times you just see a silhouette of that person because of the brightness coming in from behind, and that's the view that a hitter has.
Again, blocked nicely on the pitch in the dirt by Wilson. He'll do plenty of that. As good a defensive catcher, maybe outside of Ivan Rodriguez, as there is in the major league.
Well, that's one of the reasons why this kid keeps his job, because this is not an easy thing to do. Get your body over there, and look, you see the curveball as it spins. When it hits, it bounces back the other way on Wilson. So the ball's going to bounce to his left, even though he has to move to his right to get it blocked.
1-2. He keeps trying that outside corner.
He's not missing by much either. He's got to bring that thing back just about an inch or two in order to get the call. You see the thing with the late tailing movement is actually hurting him right now. We love pitchers that have good movement. It's a tougher pitch to hit. He's got to bring that thing back just a couple more inches to get that call.
That time he got the call. And Tino saying, let's get on the same page the next go-round. Ichiro and the Mariners come to bat in the bottom of the first. Seeley working out of the two-out chain. Lou Piniella, Seattle Mariners. And here's the way he's filled in a lineup card brought to you by Kia. Ichiro will lead off and play right field. Carlos Guillen, the shortstop. Brett Boone is at second base. The designated hitter, Edgar Martinez. Mike Cameron in center. John Olerud at first. A ladder third. Surprisingly to some, Jay Buhner getting a start in left field. Dan Wilson behind the plate. David Bell is at third. Another 15-game winner gets the ball. Like Aaron Seeley, Andy Pettitte, 15 up, 10 down.
You love the tenacity of this guy. Very calm tenacity. Doesn't wear it on his sleeve. The record 15-10. Not exactly what Pettitte was hoping for. ERA a little bit high this year. Still gives you some innings. He's a guy that needs to finesse hitters. He's got the nice breaking ball. He's going to throw away to get you thinking out there, to pitch in to get you out. He's got to throw strikes with that fastball.
Now the electrifying rookie. 27 years old, the native of Japan, of course, came over after spending the last 8 years playing in the Japanese league. They just call him Ichiro. Swung on and fouled out of play. The first Japanese-born position player to play in the major leagues, and boy, did he have an impact. Led the major leagues in batting average and stolen bases.
And look at that. What is that right there? That's a ridiculous number. 600. That's a pretty good series.
12 hits and 20 at-bats against Cleveland for Ichiro. High and tight. The last player to lead the major leagues in batting average and stolen bases in the same year, the great Jackie Robinson, 53 years ago.
Nice to get comparisons like that in your rookie season.
Got jammed with that pitch and a soft one-hopper approaches. One away.
Well, nobody's really figured out how to pitch Ichiro yet, but the book is to try to get in on him, and that's what Pettitte did.
2.5 weeks after being diagnosed with pulmonary tuberculosis, Carlos Guillen has been activated for the ALCS.
That's nice, isn't it? Nice ovation from the people here. They know what he's been through.
Said the last time he felt this good was 3 or 4 months ago. Breaking ball in there, a strike. Of course, Guillen was hospitalized and quarantined for several days after his illness was diagnosed September the 28th. He's still taking antibiotics every 4 hours. Takes a total of 14 pills a day. And they believe he has had this since about the middle of the summer. He had flu-like symptoms at the very beginning of the summer, was removed from a number of games because of nosebleeds. They originally thought he had some kind of sinus condition. And here he is after not being available to play during the division series.
I think we all know how bad we feel when we have the flu. And could you imagine showing up to the ballpark every day feeling that way? And they talk about this kid's toughness and his ability to run out there and try to play, try to do what he was going to do on the field, feeling as poorly as he did every day.
Pretty good cut right there, 1-2. Ian getting a chance to play at shortstop every day for the first time in his major league career, and big shoes to fill. The departure, of course, of Alex Rodriguez. So much was made early in the year. The Mariners the last 3 seasons losing Randy Johnson, Ken Griffey Jr. and A-Rod. And they just keep winning. 2 hopper to Soriano, 2 away. Defensively behind Pettit. It'll be Knobloch, Bernie Williams, and Paul O'Neill. Left, center, and right. Brocious and Martinez on the corners. Soriano and the remarkable Derek Jeter. The middle infield. Still get goosebumps every time you see that play. Andy Pettit and Jorge Posada the batter. You thought one of the real keys in this series for Seattle was this man right here, Brett Boone.
Well, you know, I think it was great. As you look at the numbers in the division series, certainly he's got to step it up a notch, but it was great that these Mariners were able to win without him doing anything. That's a statement.
Einer getting out of the middle. Brocious still with time. And throws over to first to end the inning. Tino is on his way back into the dugout. Had to stop and, oh yeah, better catch it and tap the bag.
So was Booney.
End of 1. Game 1. No score.
League Championship Series on Fox, presented by the New York Stock Exchange, is brought to you by the New York Stock Exchange. The world puts its stock in us. By Goodyear, reminding you to take all your journeys on the wings of Goodyear. And by Nextel. Nextel, how business gets done.
Aaron Seeley is 5-8 in his career against the Yankees, 0-3 against New York in the postseason. With that in mind, we asked Lou Piniella, what's he have to do to be effective here this go-round?
He's got to spot his fastball, and he's got to stay ahead in the count. And those are the 2 big things. Also, he's got to use his changeup from time to time to keep a lot of their left-hand hitters honest. He's pitched very well in this ballpark, and I expect him to pitch well today.
Seeley still seeking his first postseason win. Steve mentioned earlier 0-4, 3 of the 4 losses against the Yankees, 2 of them as a member of the Texas Rangers.
Yeah, and you should almost throw those out because the Texas Rangers had no chance of beating the Yankees during those years, no matter who they ran out there.
Isn't that the truth? Because they had some well-pitched games.
And lost them all. You notice there in that clip that Lou didn't say anything about Seeley's breaking ball, and that's because he knows that is his best pitch, but he needs those other ones to be effective to set that up.
Jorge Posada takes outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Posada had an outstanding division series, 8 hits and 18 at bats, 3-0.
Such a common statement made by managers about pitchers that they have to get ahead in the count. Of course, obvious reasons there is it gives you more of a chance to use your weapons when you can get yourself into a count that benefits the pitcher. You have many more options. You can throw more pitches, and then you don't have to throw strikes in order to get strikes because you'll get guys chasing.
There's ball 4, second walk of the game by Seeley. Of course, Lou Piniella, many believe still a Yankee at heart, at least till he came here to Seattle. He'll be the first to admit, even after he left the Yankees and went to Cincinnati, it took a while. But he told us before the ball game today, he said, I am a Mariner through and through. Served in every capacity imaginable for the Yanks. Fabulous postseason player. Obviously terrific regular season player. A coach with the Yankees. A manager for the Yankees. The general manager. A broadcaster. A consultant. He did it all.
There is nothing else.
Unless he carried the bat back. Swung on and fouled out of play. And he might have done that. But he... in my opinion, I don't know about you, Steve, I've always felt, even before this year, that he's the most underrated manager by far in baseball. You hear guys talk about Joe Torre and Tony La Russa and Dusty Baker, and all of those guys deserve all the credit in the world. Lou Piniella wears a World Series ring. Dusty Baker does not. Of course, Joe Torre has 4. Tony La Russa has one taken outside.
I think one of the reasons why that is what you had mentioned earlier in the opening of the show, is that the Mariners, since the time that Lou has been here, with the outstanding seasons that they have had, don't get a lot of play on the East Coast. Mariner fans out here know who they are, but around the country and on the East, a lot of people won't stay up late enough to see their games. Don't get a lot of a chance to see this team over the years.
O'Neill waits, and another look over to first. O'Neill 1 of 11 during the division series, hit .267 on the regular season, 21 home runs, 70 batted in. Fouled out of play. Many believe, many expect that O'Neill is going to retire at season's end. He plays this series with a stress fracture in the left foot. He has been a fabulous player, a passionate player, since joining the Yankees at the beginning of the '93 season.
And you got to think that even though that O'Neill probably will hang him up at the end of the year, there was no Yankee happier to win Game 5 than he was to continue the string.
1-2 on O'Neill. Fly ball into left, and nearly losing it in the sun out there, Buhner. Buhner, going way back, was a left fielder, but for better than a decade has been a right fielder.
And one of the best in the game. And who would have thought, especially anyone that roots for the Mariners, would have thought that anyone could have got him out of right field until Ichiro came around. But he's got the shades on, he's got the glove up there blocking the sun, and then he gets a little bit of an angle on the sun at the end. He is a great outfielder, always has been, with a good arm. Look at him trying to get an angle on the sun, get your glove on the sun, and then peek around behind it to see if you can get an angle on it. And he said, pounded my heart there, saying, yeah, I'm glad that one's over.
Now Scott Brocious.
I think that may have been the same type of problem that Brocious had on that line drive hit down to him at third base off the bat of Brett Boone. With the sun shining right there in the eyes of both the third baseman, the shortstop, and the left fielder. See Booney over there with the flip down shades.
Brocious 1 of 17 in the division series, pops it up into foul territory. There's not a lot of that here at Safeco Field, and not enough this time for Olerud.
A lot of those guys wearing the glasses all the time now. Boone continues to go with the flip down shades. I like those the best. You see Olerud not wearing them at all. Ichiro out there has got the shades working. He's got the shades working even at nighttime sometimes. That's because he's so cool, the sun's always shining.
Better believe that.
We had a game, an interleague game between the Dodgers and the Mariners, when Olerud dropped the pop-up in the sun, and he said, yeah, I thought that was pretty funny how you got on me about not having shades on.
Popped up right side. Olerud will give way to Brett Boone, who doesn't need to drop down the shades. Yes, he does. 2 away in the inning. Threw him down even as he was coming in on that ball. Well, game 1 here in the American League Championship Series. We'll go down to the desert for game 2, Bank One Ballpark, right here on Fox. Joe Buck and Tim McCarver will be calling that one. Tom Glavine, who was fabulous in his game 2 win over the Houston Astros in the division series. Don't overlook Miguel Batista. He won his division series start against the St. Louis Cardinals. In there, a strike. Miguel Batista beating Darryl Kyle in that pivotal game 3 after the two teams had split in Phoenix.
Nobody giving Batista a lot of chance of winning that game against the 16-game winner Kyle.
Muscled into right field. It just falls out there beyond the reach of Olerud. Falling down is Ichiro, but he's okay. Stopping at second is Posada. Boy, how did he have enough to even get that out of the infield? Lee Mazzilli giving him some heat over there about
Mazzilli's telling him to grab some Band-Aids there because that ball went right off his fingers. But he stays with the swing that goes off the, well, it looked like it got off the end of his bat and it's spinning out there. Ichiro comes in to make the play and then slips a little bit on the turf and goes down. And they didn't even think about going to third on Ichiro with the arm that he has.
So now back to the top of the order in Knobloch, who singled hard into right center field on the first pitch of the game. The Yankees left 2 on in the opening inning. They have 2 on with 2 out here in the second against Aaron Seeley.
Ichiro earlier in the season served notice to the type of the outfielder that he was going to be in a game against the Oakland A's when Terrence Long tried to go first to third. It looked like it was an easy first to third, and he threw a bullet about 8 feet high from about where he's standing out in the outfield right now and gunned him down.
Good fastball in the inside corner to Knobloch, strike 1.
You see a good look of where Ichiro is out there, getting ready to have his opportunity to throw the ball to the plate if there's another base hit.
0-1 pitch. Sails high and away, a ball and a strike. Well, they have good arms all around that outfield for Seattle. Not only Ichiro and right, Cameron, a terrific defender in center, and Buhner, for many, many years, regarded as having the best right field arm in the American League. Posada at second, Soriano at first. Low and in, 2-1 to Knobloch.
This was an outfield of years past when Buhner was in right field and Griffey was in center. It took so much pride, even though there was like a different left fielder every week. There was like 80 different guys that played with Junior out there in left field. They didn't matter. Whoever went out there, they took the attitude of Buhner and Griffey and said, this is going to be a great defensive outfielder. And if you're going to play out here, you're going to play along with us.
Sharp point hopper knocked down by Bell. Posada is going to make the turn. He's coming to the plate. And the throw is not in time. Knocked down by Wilson as Posada makes it 1-0. Soriano on the third base. And in with a, we'll see if it's a single or a double, depending on whether he goes to second on the throw, but it's an RBI for Knobloch. Terrific effort at third by David Bell.
And you're going to look at it happening. Bell gets a great jump on the ball, gets down there, and then kind of trips here and couldn't get back up in time. That's why Posada went. Posada making a great decision. That's Posada coming over to third base. Willie Randolph with some help. He's just going to stop. Now he sees Bell go back down, and there he goes. Wilson trying to block the plate there without the ball. That is a scary, scary move for any catcher when you know some guy's barreling in on you and you have to try to block the plate while you're still waiting for the throw.
So 1-0 Yankees, and here's Derek Jeter with runners at second and third. Fastball up and in, 1-0. Soriano at third, Knobloch at second, and the Yankees trying to add to this 1-0 lead. They already have 3 hits in the game against Seeley, and he's also walked 2 back. And by the way, they rule it a single, not a double. Going to second on the throw home was Knobloch. 1-0 pitch, 2-0.
Now here's what we're talking about. Dan Wilson trying to block the plate there. Even before the ball gets to him, he knows that's his only chance to get Posada out at the plate, is if he can somehow keep him away from the plate, then catch the ball, and then tag him. Technically, that's illegal. You're not supposed to be able to block the plate without the ball. Guys get away with it all the time.
Well, Steve, you're behind Derek Jeter here. 2 balls and no strikes. You have a base open. Now, granted, you have the left-handed batting David Justice waiting in the on-deck circle. But could the count already at 2-0 be a factor that maybe you'd otherwise not think about putting Jeter on, but maybe you do now?
Yeah, no question. When you have a 2-0 count, and the Yankees are notorious for swinging away on 3-0 counts, so you know he's got the green light right now. I think that's why Wilson went out there and said, maybe we're not going to put him on here, but we're going to pitch him very careful. Don't put anything close to the middle of the plate here.
They try the outside corner, 3-0.
Aaron Steele's getting nothing back there. He's really trying to nip the corners, and he's just not getting the calls.
Runners at second and third, 2 away, 3-0 to Jeter. Got one right down the heart of the plate for a strike.
That just shows you how good Jeter knows that he is. I mean, every other guy in baseball with the green light on a 3-0 count, if you throw one right down Broadway, they're hacking. Jeter says, you know what, let me see it, because I know I'm going to get it again in this at-bat. Show it to me one time, I'll take it.
3-1. Soriano at third, Knobloch at second. Popped up. Boone backpedaling, calls off Ichiro. The inning is over. That's a big out for Seeley, but the Yankees get a run. 2 at-bats, 2 innings, 2 hits, and an RBI for Knobloch. After an inning and a half, 1-0 Yankees.
The center of your digital world, and by
And for the bottom half of the second inning in Seattle, 1-0 Yankees. And here's Edgar Martinez. Went 5 of 16 in the division series against Cleveland with a couple of home runs, knocked in 5, and he looks at a strike. Edgar, born in New York, New York, 38 years old, has hit over 310 times in his major league career, and this season over 100 RBIs for the 6th time. He has been, without a doubt, the best designated hitter in the history of baseball.
Talk about a guy that came from New York and fell in love with this Pacific Northwest area, lives in Kirkland, Washington, has become an icon around these parts.
Get a look at the all-time franchise leader in batting average, career .319 hitter, closing in on 450 doubles. The overwhelming majority of the 1,672 games as the DH. A third baseman when he first came up. Only made 1 start in the field all year this year at first, and that was during interleague play.
And of course, the reason for that, bad knees. Early in his career, had some knee problems, couldn't go out there and play third base. Was a better than average third baseman when he was out there, when he was healthy.
Swing and a miss. Nasty pitch right there by Andy Pettitte. We talked to Joe Torre about what Pettitte would have to do to become more effective against a Seattle team that's roughed him up this year.
I think he has to stay down. He has to get ahead in the count. They can kill you if you get behind in the count because they have good hitters. And he needs to use both sides of the plate. Andy, at times, you know, can throw the four-seamer, but for the most part, he needs to stay down in the zone and keep the ball in the ballpark and try to give our infielders a chance to get a ground ball.
Ball 1 high to Mike Cameron. Cameron added by Joe Torre to the American League All-Star Game as the final pick after Greg Vaughn was unable to play. And it was a very popular choice, not only for Cameron and not only for the fans here in Seattle, but for the other players that were on the American League All-Star team. Cameron, one of the most likable guys that you will ever meet.
Well, he's one of those guys that never shuts up but doesn't annoy you. He's always talking. Look at the career high numbers and the home runs and the RBIs. 34 steals. Got his hat on sideways there a little bit. He's styling. He's had a great year.
Cameron's first All-Star game this season. Here comes a 2-0 pitch. Too low. Pardon me, that was a 3-0. Ball 4.
Lou Piniella told us that the one thing that would turn Cameron into a great player is if he strikes, if he cuts down on those strikeouts. He struck out 155 times this year. Give him a chance to get more hits. He'd become a 300 hitter. and he'd have a lot more opportunities to steal bases if he just cuts down those strikeouts.
And can he run? Cameron, 34 stolen bases during the year, only thrown out 5 times.
And you look at Cameron with that kind of speed and the power numbers with the RBIs that he drove in, hitting 5th in the order right now. But if he would cut down and become more of a 300 hitter, and you know, what kind of amazing number 2 hitter would he be with the speed and the power and the damage that they could do with the big boppers behind him.
Ball 1 to John Olerud.
He's hitting 5th in the lineup, and that's a spot that a lot of people love to hit. But at the same time, when you have that kind of speed, like to utilize that at the top of your order, get another more classic number 5 hitter with a little more pop hitting in that spot in the order, all of a sudden you have a pretty dangerous top of the order with Ichiro and Cameron.
1-0 to Olerud. 2 balls and no strikes. The Mariners led the major leagues with 927 runs scored. They outscored the opposition by 300, allowing the fewest runs in the major leagues. They're the first team since the '98 Yankees to outscore the opposition by 300. 2-0. Fouled away.
During this series, you are going to see some guys. That man right there, Edgar Martinez, the guy at the plate right now, John Olerud, and Derek Jeter on the other side. 3 guys with some of the prettiest swings you'll ever see in baseball. The inside-out classic swing from the right side, and then Olerud, picture perfect from the left side.
On the ground right side, this could be 2. Soriano, Jeter's throw, and that's a double play to end the inning. 1 out walk to Cameron, but Olerud the double play. We go to the 3rd, 1-0 Yankees.
Tom, let's check out the way Soriano made that play at second. Look at his hand out there already reaching to grab the ball even before he catches the ball. Pulls Jeter off the bag a little bit, but great body control with Jeter. He hangs in there. Cameron trying to take him out. You're not getting Jeter. You're not going to get him. He will make the play.
David Justice to start things in the Yankees' 3rd inning. Ball 1. Justice had a hit taken away on a diving play by Olerud to his right back in the opening inning. A leadoff walk to Jorge Posada. Issued by Seeley, and Posada winds up scoring the only run of the game. It came an inning ago on a single by Knobloch. That ball blistered down the right field line towards the corner and foul. Justice jumping all over that pitch. Nearly his 2nd home run of the postseason.
Been a little talk about David Justice's bat slowing down a little bit, but he can still catch up with an 88-mile-an-hour fastball, I'll tell you that. Hooked that one right around the pole. Nice play. That's a bullet. Oh, I guess he dropped it. That was a bullet out there by a 12-year-old catching the ball with no glove. Come on. I don't want to catch that ball with a glove.
No. Well, you're the one that's always bragging up here in the booth about trying to make catches.
Well, I'm just trying to protect you.
And I gladly appreciate it.
Here's a guy, I guess he got the ball, but look at a great attempt by the kid. Dropped it, you know, that's just because it stings so much.
Seeley trying to get Justice fishing for that breaking ball low and away. 2-2. Bernie Williams to follow, and then Tino Martinez. In the air, left field. Buehner again shading his eyes from the sun. He's got it, 1 gone.
Nice job by Seeley right there.
Steve, I don't know about you, but you almost get the feeling watching Seeley and watching his postseason starts in years past that if he could just get through 3 or 4 or 5 innings, without getting knocked around, because generally he hasn't lasted even that long. And he might be all right.
Yeah, and that's because of the feel of that breaking ball. He hasn't thrown it that much today. He's thrown it when he needed it, but everyone keeps telling him he has to try to establish that fastball and get the sinker moving a little bit, and he does, but that's to establish that pitch right there. It makes it so much tougher to hit if you have to worry about something else. But when he gets the feel of that breaking ball, you know, he is at times unhittable with that pitch. It takes a few innings sometimes to get it going.
0-1 to Bernie Williams, who walked his first time up, and it's inside ball one. And you can tell that Seeley doesn't have the feel on everything early on, because we mentioned he has brilliant control. Yet he walked 2 of the first 6 hitters he faced in the game. That's not Aaron Seeley.
And there's that sinker, and that's part of the problem. He's got enough movement on that ball that he's actually moving it out of the strike zone, and he needs to try to, you know, maybe even move over on the mound a couple inches, get himself to the point where he can throw the same pitch, but not have it run off of the plate.
2-2.
Oh, if you're Bernie Williams now is when you start questioning yourself as a hitter. Do I get the sinker away, or does he throw me that big yacker?
Fastball away and just missed on the outside edge. Three and 2 to Bernie Williams. 1 gone, nobody on. We're in the top half of the 3rd inning. 1-0 New York. Game 1 of this American League Championship Series.
Boy, Ed Montague, the home plate umpire, is being very consistent back there. He will not relent on that pitch off the plate.
Struck him out. Came with back-to-back fastballs on the outside corner. And the way Williams swung at that, it looked as though he was guessing.
That's what Lou was saying. If you can establish that, there's the big breaking ball. Get me over curve. He goes inside with the fastball. The sinker away off the plate. Gets a strike there. He goes away again. That's off the plate. And now he brings it in a little bit. Bernie swinging and sitting down.
2 up, 2 down, and now it's Tino Martinez, who looked at strike 3, didn't like the call, ending the first inning. Check swing and a miss, 0-1. The one thing you can bank on from Aaron Seeley, he will win, at least during the regular season. He's won more games than any American League pitcher since the beginning of the 1998 season. In fact, only 3 major league pitchers, all in the National League, have won more games than Seeley during that span. He's in front 0-2. And the 3, you've heard of all 3. In fact, they're all hanging down in Phoenix right now. Randy Johnson, Greg Maddux, Tom Glavine. One and 2 on Tino Martinez.
Wow, I'm not sure what that pitch was. He definitely hung on to it a little bit too long. It looked like he was trying to throw a changeup there. I see the grip of this coming out of his hands. Yeah, that's a changeup. He turns it over, but he just hung on to it too long and threw it 55 feet.
Fouled straight back. We'll do it again at 1 and 2.
Aaron Seeley, especially with the left-handed hitters, knows that if he can just keep the ball on the outer half of the plate with his fastball, as we talked about before, this park is so big, he'll let Tino Martinez hit it as far as he wants to center field, because it's a long ways to hit a home run there.
Hooked down the right field line, and we'll be talking about it throughout the series, but for my money, the reason this Mariner franchise got turned around is because of this ballpark. And I don't mean selling more tickets and increasing their payroll, because since they moved in here, they've lost Johnson, Griffey, and A-Rod. It's because they've finally given their pitchers a chance.
And they've built a team around playing in this place.
Strike 3 called on the inside corner. A very impressive 3rd for Aaron Seeley. Buhner, Wilson, Bell coming up. Bottom of the 3rd. Yankees lead 1-0.
League Championship Series is presented by the New York Stock Exchange. The world puts its stock in us.
Beautiful afternoon here in the Emerald City, Seattle, Washington. Game 1 of this American League Championship Series presented by the New York Stock Exchange. And Stevie, realized last Wednesday, the first game, that we had the New York Stock Exchange as our sponsor. And the market rallies. Jumps 169 points, does the Dow. 16 points on the S&P.
Start investing.
Right now. Right now. Jay Buhner to lead things off. And he looks at a strike on the outside corner. 0-2 to Buhner. Just 135 games this season. Had surgery to his heel.
A lot of foot problems in the game this year.
And he's gone on strikes. 3 straight pitches from Andy Pettitte. Well, anyone who's ever had that plantar fascia in either one of their heels, it is an excruciatingly painful injury to have of any kind. I mean, the second you get out of bed in the morning and put your feet on the ground, you feel like somebody is literally stabbing you in both heels. I've had it for years, and it's just horrible. And I don't have to go out and play. There's ball 1 to Dan Wilson.
You're right. You don't have to go out and play.
Well, it all depends on what you're talking about.
Buhner stayed around the club, though. He's always been one of the more inspirational guys in the clubhouse.
2-0.
We asked Lou Piniella, with the lack of playing time, what he expected to get out of Buhner. He only played in 19 games this year, only had 3 postseason at-bats. He says, well, we'll see. We'll find out.
That ball line hard. Straight away center field. Bernie Williams at the warning track and has room in front of the wall to run it down. Wilson hitting it to the deepest part of the park. A little better than 405 feet to straightaway center field.
In this field, Bernie Williams feels right at home with the big center field. It's almost like Yankee Stadium. Anytime you see an outfielder turn and run like that and then pick the ball up late like Bernie does, it's a scary feeling for an outfielder. When you have to turn your back and run, you know you're in a little bit of trouble. But if you can run far enough before you have to turn back and look at the ball, you will make up the greatest distance. Bernie's one of the best at that because of the Yankee Stadium outfield.
It's the first fly ball out recorded by Andy Pettitte through the first 2 2/3 innings. Here's David Bell. And a check swing and a foul ball back out of play. Bell, of course, a 3rd-generation big leaguer, as is his teammate Brett Boone. David Bell's grandfather, Gus Bell, a tremendously talented all-star for better than 15 years. His father, Buddy Bell, great third baseman, and now the manager of the Colorado Rockies. And like his grandfather and his father, David wears number 25.
Mentioned Boone, Bob Boone and Aaron Boone both at the stadium today.
When you mentioned Ray, that was his grandfather, who also played in the major league. In fact, Bob Boone, Brett's father, Aaron's father as well, manager of the Cincinnati Reds, was here yesterday giving Brett Boone some hitting tips. Saw his son really struggle in that division series.
Well, Brett will tell you that there is no better hitting coach that he's ever had than his father.
Check swing. Did he go? No. On the appeal to first base umpire Wally Bell. 2-2 to David Bell.
Well, it's funny. They asked Boone. They said, you know, well, how often has your dad actually seen you play? He says, almost never. Every time I'm playing, he's playing. It's been that way my whole life.
Two-two pitch. And a fisted roller to the right side. Easy for Martinez. He feeds Pettitte at the bag, and that'll do it. We play 3. Pettitte is not allowed to hit, and his team has given him a 1-0 lead. One 1-0 ball game as we're set to begin the 4th inning. Game 1 of this American League Championship Series. Jorge Posada, Paul O'Neill, and Scott Brocious against Aaron Seeley, who had his first perfect inning of the afternoon in the third. Posada walked and scored the only run of the game. That came in the second inning on a single by Knobloch.
Hello, Lou.
What a beauty he is. Had the privilege of knowing him a long, long time. Great sense of humor. Tremendous competitor.
He's mellowed a little.
Yes, he has. That ball laced into right field towards the corner, and it's against the wall. This may be a single. Here comes a throw from Ichiro to the back. Out in second. No, they got him safe. Wow. Ichiro showing off the arm, and now Lou Piniella. We'll see how calm he is out at second with Gary Cedarstrom. Ichiro with 8 outfield assists this year.
Well, you wonder why we talk about Ichiro and his ability. That ball was hammered. That's why he has a chance to get back there. A bullet to second base. Guillen missed the tag. A lot of times when the throw beats you, you're out, but he should sweep his tag through here. He's safe. He should have been out. You sweep the tag through, then you don't have any problems. But because he reaches for him, he doesn't get him. Watch it one more time.
Well, I don't know. I wonder if he got that back foot before Posada's front foot got to the bag.
He was safe.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you. I thought he was out.
He should have been out. Great throw by Ichiro. That's why you should teach your middle infielders, you should teach anybody just to go to the base, go to the spot where the player has to go, where the runner has to go. Don't go reaching for people. Sweep the tag through where he has to be. Get out of there so you don't get hurt, and you'll get the call.
So now the Yankees in business to start the fourth inning. Posada at second, and here's O'Neill flying out to left his first time up. Blown away, 2-0. Let's take another look.
I'll show it to you one more time. When Guillen catches this ball, and we can stop it right when he catches. Now sweep your hand through the bottom of this play, down underneath the bag. Sweep through there, just catch it, get down close to the bag.
Tag right there. Foot hadn't hit the bag, he's out.
He hasn't touched him yet.
Back foot.
Still hasn't touched him.
I got a back foot.
Me and you gonna go round and round.
All right. Well, that's fun. You know that's what they're doing at home. Rounded foul, first base side. You know, some Yankee
all the Yankee fans are saying Steve's right. All the Mariner fans are saying you're right.
No doubt. That's what makes it great.
I just don't think he got him. I think he tried to tag in through there, and instead of reaching for the bag, he reached for the player. Go to where the guy has to end up.
Two and one on Paul O'Neill. Posada at second base, nobody out. Hit hard into right. Ichiro looks up and it sails into the fourth row. A 2-run home run by O'Neill. His first home run in the 2001 postseason. It gives the Yankees a 3-0 lead.
What an easy swing Paul O'Neill had here. He's got so much leverage because of his height and strength. Watch how easy he pulls the bat through this strike zone. Wow. That's the sinker that doesn't get outside far enough. You see where Danny Wilson wanted it and was trying to catch it. Head down, out in front of that ball, and Paulie knows it as soon as he hit it.
High bouncer off the plate to the second baseman Boone. He'll underhand Olerud. That's the first out here in the Yankee fourth. A double by Posada to begin the inning, and a 2-run home run off the bat of O'Neill. His 10th career postseason long one.
Almost lost in our little argument at second base, and I think you just have to go back to it because we've talked about it a lot. And for the people that haven't seen him play, what a throw by Ichiro getting that ball back in. If you hadn't noticed before, the kid has a cannon.
Well, there are a lot of people who are going to say, oh, well, big deal. The next guy up hit a home run. Well, it's a big deal on a couple of fronts. obviously the 2-run score rather than 1. 1-0 to Soriano, but the other thing is there's a big difference in a guy's stuff pitching out of the stretch as opposed to working out of the windup. If Posada is called out at second base, Seeley's working out of the windup. The last time he saw O'Neill, he got him to pop up to left. 2-0. 3 balls and no strikes.
The game went through a period of time, and there are still some guys that will do it. You'll see relievers come in and throw exclusively from the stretch because they're more comfortable. But those guys are few and far between. Most guys would tell you they'd rather throw out of the windup.
3-0 to Soriano, and he looks at a fastball strike on the inside corner. 3-0 Yankees here in the 4th inning in Game 1 of this American League Championship Series. Three and 2.
Where Paul O'Neill hit that home run too, to right field is really the only place where the ball will elevate pretty well for you. The ball jumped pretty good. He smoked that ball. This is a big yard, but that is the one place in this area here where you can hit the ball out of the park.
Hard hit ball right at David Bell, and he throws out Soriano. Game 1 today, Game 2 tomorrow. Get underway at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, and what a pitching matchup in that one. Mike Messina for the Yankees and Freddie Garcia for Seattle. Garcia coming back on 3 days rest. Of course, Messina the 1-0 win in Oakland in Game 3.
Messina saying he's feeling stronger and stronger as the season wears on, which is not something that the Mariners want to hear. He has been outstanding over the last month and a half.
3 hard hit balls in the inning by the Yankees against Aaron Seeley. Knobloch is 2 for 2 into short left field. Coming on hard is Buhner. He's not going to get it. Knobloch making a turn on his way to second base, and he'll slide in safe at second base. 3 at bats in the game, 3 hits for Knobloch.
Well, that's what Nobby does, getting this thing going. This ball jams him a little bit, but watch. He knows it's hitting to an area where no one's going to catch it, so he's hustling into second. Here's the tag I wanted to see last time. Guillen catch the ball, sweep it through there. But on both plays, I'd like to see Guillen a little closer to the base, straddle the base. That ball was pretty close to right on the money. Straddle the bag, get as close as you can. Even the throw that Ichiro made, Guillen could have been a step closer to the base, even straddling it. He didn't have to come out to catch it.
3rd hit in the inning. And now Derek Jeter. 0 for 2. He's fly to center and popped up to Brett Boone at second base. Derek Jeter breaking Pete Rose's all-time record for most hits in the postseason, and Jeter's only 27 years old. Already owns 4 World Series rings in his first 5 seasons in the big league.
He's running out of fingers. 27 years old. I ask him every postseason, after every time they win, I'm like, when are you going to fall out of the tree? Your life is just way too good.
Of course, it should be noted for many who are just becoming baseball fans that Jeter has an extra round of playoffs as he hits the deck high and tight.
Now this is scary right here. That is right at his noggin. Woo, see that ball tail. We talked about Seeley starting to throw more of a sinking pitch. That ball tailed right into Derek.
Got jammed with it. One hopper at Guillen behind the bag. He'll throw out Jeter. Jeter 0 for 3. But Paul O'Neill has given the Yankees a 3-run lead with a 2-run home run to the seats in right. We played 3.5 in Game 1 of this ALCS. Bottom half of the fourth inning, and the Yankees on a run-scoring single by Knobloch in the second, a 2-run home run by Paul O'Neill in the fourth on a 3-0 lead. Top of the order for Seattle. And Ichiro looks at a strike. He bounced out to the third baseman Brocious his first time up.
Tom, if Ichiro wasn't the type of player that he is, he'd take a little more guff for this little pre-pitch routine he goes through there. They'd be saying, you know, I'd get in the box and swing the bat. But he's such a good kid, and he's been such a great player, and goes about his business with no other type of flair. It's not like he's trying to be cool up there. That's just what he does. They've been doing this for a long time in Japan. Came over here with the same routine. Nobody gives him any business about that.
Played 9 years in the Japanese league, won 7 batting titles. Swing and a foul tip into the mid of Posada, and gone swinging is Ichiro. 0 for 2 in the game.
This is just a bad pitch down in the dirt, trying to get him to chase down there, and he did. Not too often Ichiro doesn't get his bat on the ball. Only struck out 53 times during the regular season. Not too many guys are going to hit that pitch.
Andy Pettit has been terrific through the first 3 1/3 innings. He struck out 3, walked 1, is not allowed a hit. Ball 1 again. A ball and a strike. Ian grounded out to Alfonso Soriano his first time up. Ian, of course, came over back in 1998. A highly controversial deal involving Randy Johnson being sent from the Mariners to the Houston Astros. Came over along with John Halama and Freddie Garcia. In the air, left field. Playable for Knobloch. 2 away. It's a new show everyone's been talking about. The best damn sports show, period. The new nightly show that features a comedian who's a diehard sports fan and a bunch of ex-jocks who really know the game. Sports comedy, commentary, constantly updated scores and highlights. Weeknights at 7:30 and 11:30 p.m. only on Fox Sports Net. 2 up, 2 down for Pettit here in the bottom of the fourth. Brett Boone, first pitch swinging in the hole. Jeter throws right on the money to Tino, and that'll end the inning. 1-2-3 go the Mariners. You're watching Fox, home of the 2001 World Series, back after a break from your local Fox station. Yankees bat in the 5th inning, leading Aaron Seeley and the Mariners 3-0. 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors, 5 left for New York. No runs, no hits, nobody left for the Mariners. Justice 0 for 2 is bounced to first and flied out to Jay Buhner and left. You brought up immediately at the end of that Mariner 4th. Something you talked about from the outset is it's 1-1. The start in game 1 of Brett Boone.
Boone's just got to settle down a little bit. He's lost right now as we take a look at the big breaking ball to Justice. Not going to hit that one. He's had 2 at-bats. He's only seen 2 pitches and hit them both to the left side. Booney's greatest success, and he'll tell you himself, is that when he started going the other way, he could get stubborn at times. But he said, I had a great year this year because I got a game plan and I stuck with it all year long. Hit the ball into the right center field gap, and he has the pop to hit it out of here that way. Those are his season numbers. Look at the previous highs. I mean, he hit 37 homers this year, never hit more than 24, 141 RBIs. A ridiculously great year for him because he stuck with what he knew he could do.
3-2 now to Justice. Well, they're going to need him and need him quickly.
Sometimes as a hitter, you just get lost. You can't find your way back. I mean, he will come back. He's played too well, but he's got to snap out of it quickly, and the Mariners and his teammates know it.
3-2 to Justice. Fouled out of play. And Boone, up until this division series and now the LCS 0-for-2. In 21 games in his career in the postseason, had been a .333 batter. But so far this year, 2 hits, 23 at-bats, has struck out 11 of the 23 times. 3-2 to Justice. Fouled away again.
Boone struck out 110 times during the regular season, and that number's up there a little bit. I think he'd say I'd prefer to strike out 90 or less times, but he also had 623 at-bats, too. He hit .331, so when he wasn't striking out, he was doing some damage.
3-2 to Justice, and Seeley delivers again, and it's high ball 4. Excellent at bat right there by David Justice. Third walk of the game issued by the Seattle right-hander, who has had his troubles in the playoffs. Go back to 98 pitching for Texas, gave up 4 runs in a 4-0 loss to the Yankees. A year later in the division series, game 1, 5 innings, 4 runs in a loss to the Yankees. Then against the White Sox last season, a no decision threw the ball very well in the division series against the Sox. And in 6 innings, gave up 4 runs, 9 hits in a loss to the Yankees. 0-1 to Bernie Williams. Oh. In Seeley's defense, his only mistake last year in the 6 innings when he allowed 4 runs in the 8-2 loss was the home run ball he served up to Shane Spencer. Came with 2 men aboard. Otherwise, he threw the ball very well that night. 0-1 pitch. Straight away center field. On the run, Cameron back to the warning track. He's there and has to strikes and catch it. Going down to his knees as Justice retreats back to first base.
Cameron, as we talked about before, all good outfielders will turn their back on the ball. And he almost overran this one. Had to stop as the ball kind of hit a wall out there as far as its guts on the ball to keep going, and he's had to stop, put on the brakes, and come back and get it a little bit. Still, that's the way you're supposed to make that play. If the ball's hit over your head as an outfielder, turn and run to the spot that you think it's going to come down in, then turn around and make the play.
Now Tino Martinez. Fouled out of play, figures I better swing. He struck out twice looking against Seeley today. Once on the outside corner, he didn't like the call. Then the last time, a cut fastball from Seeley that started at him and wound up right over the heart of the plate.
Seeley has pitched the middle of his order very tough so far in this game.
0-1. Fastball in, a ball and a strike on Tino Martinez. Lou Piniella's known about Tino for a long time, both from the city of Tampa. Lou used to watch Tino Martinez play after everyone began to talk about the young man and knowing that he would have a chance to be drafted. Straight away center field. That ball hit pretty well. But again, Cameron in front of the wall has room. 2 away in the inning, and again, Justice has to go almost all the way to second base just in case it falls. Most other ballparks, these last 2, or certainly that one anyway, is a home run.
Right, maybe not here and maybe not in Yankee Stadium with the big outfield. Detroit, another place. Of course, they're not in the playoffs, but that's Death Valley out there. And he knows that if he can just get that ball into the outer half of the plate, Tino, good swing on this. Ball up a little bit. He juices it. That's a long ways to hit a ball and jump this yard.
Now Jorge Posada, he's been right in the heart of the action. Walked and scored in the second, doubled and scored in front of O'Neill's home run in the 4th.
I think what you said about giving the pitchers a chance in this ballpark really makes a lot of sense. Chased away some of your big power hitters in the organization, but at the same time built a team around better defense, some pitching that could give up some mistakes as long as they made their mistakes in the right part of the field. You get a center fielder like Cameron that can run them down and win some games that way.
Two and 0 to Posada, who is 9 of 19 in this postseason. Runner goes. Ground ball second. Boone is sure-handed as anybody around, inning over. After 4.5, Yankees lead 3-0. Nearly 100 miles away. Such a beautiful part of this great country of ours, the great Northwest. You were raised in Oregon, just south of here.
Yep, born in the Seattle area, raised in Oregon, and got a lot of opportunities to see the mountains of the area. Mount St. Helens, yeah. Mount Hood in Oregon.
You get over to the San Juan Islands, which you either have to take a ferry or fly a plane over there that lands on the water. And it's just gorgeous country. Big inning for Seattle, down 3-0. Edgar Martinez, Mike Cameron, John Olerud, and it's ball 1 to Edgar. He struck out swinging his first time up. The Mariners without a hit against Andy Pettitte, who during his postseason career has never fared well when pitching the opening game of a postseason series, a game 1. This is his 4th game 1 start, and in his first 3 games, an 0-1 record, 2 no decisions, and an ERA just under 8.
You get the feeling that when they say, hey, you're going to throw game 1, he'd just soon say, how about game 2?
2-0 to Edgar. And a base hit into right field. First hit of the game for Seattle.
Well, if you like to watch guys with a nice swing, man, just get yourself a tape of Edgar's at-bats. This is a pitch down and away from him, just goes out there, doesn't try to do too much with it. Excellent balance, hits the ball the other way hard through that 2-hole. It's not like he's just serving it over there. He lets the ball get in on him. He's not out reaching to try to hit the ball away. Lets it get in, lets his bat do the most damage it can by letting the ball get deep into that strike zone before he swings.
Now Mike Cameron, who walked his only time up in the 2nd inning. Strike 1 on the inside corner. Crowd didn't like the call, nor did Cameron. Breaking ball this time, a ball and a strike. Pettitte has been a good, not a great postseason pitcher. When you root for the Yankees, you always remember the really good games a guy pitches. Rarely do you remember the bad ones. He's 8-5 with an ERA of 4.14. Swing and a miss. That's why we say it's good, not great. Pettitte has much lower, much better numbers throughout his career during regular season games. There you get a look. Allowing more hits than innings pitched.
Has pitched some big games for the Yankees, though, no question. The 8-5 record. And a lot of experience.
That ball hit pretty well into left field. Knobloch got the wall, leaps, can't get it. Edgar Martinez appears to be injured going into 3rd. A double for Cameron, and we'll see if Edgar's all right. You brought up earlier, he's had knee problems in his career. He's had a lot of hamstring problems in his career. And I think they're asking him, are you okay?
This ball just smoked by Cameron. Kind of a mistake pitch. Tried to get in on him. Knobloch does a great job of trying to make this play. Gotta remember, Knobloch's a second baseman, almost makes the play. He's been out in left field all season long, but that was a great effort. Watch Edgar taking off. Never got a really good start. Now he has to take off, and now he's limping. Edgar's not a young man. Even his normal stride doesn't necessarily look good these days anymore. He's not. You almost have to hit a triple to score.
Runners at second and third. Nobody out for John Olerud. Ball one away. And all of a sudden, here come the Mariners. A team that won 116 games during the regular season. Falling behind Andy Pettitte 3-0. But now a single and a double with nobody out.
And the Mariners have to do here what the Oakland A's could not do against the Yankees, and that's put the ball in play hard with guys in scoring position.
Crowd out of play, third base side, a ball and a strike. The Mariners during the regular season hit a whopping .296 with runners in scoring position, 4 points shy of 300. In the division series against Cleveland, they hit .188, but they won the series.
That's the big one.
Two balls and a strike.
Those type of numbers, though, Tom, are the numbers that tend to catch up with you the further you get in. Can expect to continue to win series if you hit like that with runners in scoring position. How bad the Oakland A's were with runners in scoring position. They almost won their series. They didn't.
Started to swing. Did he go? They appeal. Yes! Is a call by Charlie Relaford. And all the calls going the Yankees' way.
Wow. This is a tough one here. Relaford, a former National League umpire. We've always talked about the differences, but I don't think he went on that.
What a big call that is. Rather than 3-1, it's 2-2. Ground ball. Jeter's there. He'll play to first. And the Mariners on the board as Edgar Martinez scores from third. 3-1 our score. Good hitting there by Olerud.
Good hitting by Olerud and even better defense by Derek Jeter. We talked a lot about his legs still not being 100%. He tends to play a little bit more up the middle because of that, because going to his left is an easier play. But that's outstanding positioning where he was on the left-handed hitting Olerud. This ball's right up the middle. This is a bullet that could easily be a hit. Look at Jeter. All over it.
Now Buhner. Big breaking ball in there, a strike. Buhner's seen 4 pitches in the game from Pettitte, and all of them strikes. He went down on 3 straight pitches his first time up. On the ground, fouled away, and just like that, Pettitte in front 0-2.
All right, this crowd here is waiting for the old Jay Buhner that gave him a lot of years here of some big swings and some long home runs. Slowed down a little bit. He doesn't have the bat speed that he once did, but Andy Pettitte does not throw hard.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night again for Buhner. He has struck out twice on 6 pitches from Pettitte.
Buhner's the one guy for the Mariners team that's not as used to the high strike as the rest of the guys. He only played 19 games this year. Big old looping curveball up in the zone. That's a strike this year. Jay isn't used to it at all. Last year they'd have never called that pitch for a strike. This year it has been a strike more than occasionally, and he hasn't seen it. He's not used to it. There's an adjustment period there, and he hasn't had a chance to go through it.
Dan Wilson looks at ball 1 low, and perhaps this could be a foreshadowing of things to come. The Mariners during the regular season were always able to do the little things that would win games. And Olerud did it with nobody out. The ground ball up the middle to get 1 run in from third, get the other guy from second to third. And now with 1 away, they can't get Cameron in and need a hit to do so. Fouled away, and it's a ball, a strike.
Well, Buhner's always been a productive RBI guy. He knows in that situation that he has to lift the ball. get the ball into the outfield, hit a fly ball, or maybe hit one in a gap and drop it in for a hit, but at the very least hit a fly ball to drive the run in.
Wilson lined out hard to center his first time up. Cameron at third, 2 away. Fastball low and away.
Yeah, I've talked a lot about how people in this situation almost never drop a bunt down. I think a bunt in this situation is a great play, even if you are a catcher.
2-2.
Now with 2 strikes, of course, you're not going to drop a bunt down. But look at how deep everybody's playing in the infield. You don't have to make a good bunt. Brocious was standing right there, even with the 1 strike count. These guys didn't even move back an inch, even after there's 2 strikes. You don't have to be a great bunter. Guy on third base, drop a bunt down. Doesn't have to be that good. You get it past the pitcher, you walk to first base, and you score a run. Love that play. You don't see it enough.
2-2 to Wilson. Struck him out, and that'll end the inning. What an effort by Pettit. The Mariners had runners at second and third with nobody out and scored just once. And at 5, Yankees lead by 2. Welcome back to Safeco Field in Seattle. Sellout crowd. In fact, they were camped out here for the last 2.5 days, waiting to get their hands on League Championship Series tickets. They have the tents going the whole 9 yards right outside the ballpark.
A little tailgating. Gotta love it.
Paul O'Neill, the batter. First pitch swinging, grounds it foul. O'Neill's 2-run home run, the difference in the game right now. It came in the 4th.
Just a nice, easy swing. Got out in front of a ball that was trying to sink away from him and didn't. Aaron Sele, I think, is critical in these next couple innings for him to reestablish the breaking ball so that he can get away with throwing that sinker and 4-seam fastball.
O'Neill, 38 years old, a native of Columbus, Ohio, a direct descendant of Mark Twain. 5-time All-Star, 4 with the Yankees, won the batting title back in '94. His name littered all over the Yankee record books, despite the fact that he didn't come to the Yankees until he was already 6 years into his major league career. Started, of course, with Cincinnati.
Learned how to hit once he got to the Yankees. Dead pull hitter when he was with Cincinnati. Used the entire field when he came over to Yankee Stadium, even though that right field wall was very inviting for him. He knew they were going to pitch away from him so much, he had to learn how to hit the ball the other way.
Well, O'Neill's former teammate, part of the Nasty Boy with that 1990 Cincinnati Reds World Championship team, left-hander Norm Charlton, beginning to throw in the Mariner bullpen. He has had a sensational year. Hooked into right field, a base hit for O'Neill, his second and 3 at-bats. And while we have a moment, time is Scott Brocious now the batter. You've always been a big U2 fan, right, Psycho?
Absolutely. Bono, he's the man. Huh?
You're right.
Come on.
No,
leather
no argument.
pants. Whacked out sunglasses all the time. Guy could sing.
Brocious squares, bunts up the first baseline. Boone getting over to the back just in time ahead of Brocious. So the Yankees asking Brocious to get O'Neill down to second base, trying to add to this 2-run lead here in the 6th inning. Brocious had 6 sacrifices during the regular season. Time for our Yankees in-game box score, brought to you by the New York Stock Exchange. Knobloch knocking in the first Yankee run with a single in the 2nd inning. O'Neill a 2-run home run in the 4th. Posada's been on twice, scored twice.
Kind of a tough play for the second baseman, Booney, as that ball gets dropped down. If there's any movement from the guy on first base at all, O'Neill, you're thinking steal. You have to cover second base. Then when the ball gets dropped down, you have to run all the way back to first base to cover because you're the only guy that can do it. First baseman's charging, the pitcher's charging, and that's why Booney got there just a little bit late.
Now Soriano, 1 of 2.
I'll show you as the ball gets dropped down, Booney doesn't know it's a bunt originally. Now he's going to come into your screen pretty late, hustling to get all the way over to second, snag the ball, and then get out of the way.
Soriano singled into right field in the second inning, got jammed, but was able to muscle it into right, and then hit a bullet down to third. Swing in a minute. Charlton joined by Jose Paniagua, hard throwing right-hander down to the bullpen, who struggled down the stretch. He was one of the better right-handed relievers in the league through about the first 4.5 months of the season. Oh, 2 pitch. Fastball up and in.
That pitch just a set-up pitch, not meant to be a strike at all. He four-seamed that ball, threw it a little harder than he normally would throw it, try to get it up in the zone. Maybe you get a guy to chase it, but really just to set up your next pitch.
They go away, 2-2.
That becomes the mistake right there. Not a mistake that can hurt you. You set up a pitch to go to that breaking ball. He wanted to throw that pitch for a strike. He wants Soriano to be swinging at that one. Seeley now up over 100 pitches with 103. Tell people how many pitches he throws, and the guys put a graphic up there just like that.
They're all over. Popped up and out of play. And charting the pitches for his Game 2 start tomorrow, Freddie Garcia. Man, did he step up in the division series when the Mariners were on the brink of elimination.
Is it me, or does Freddie Garcia look like The Rock? Can you smell what The Rock is cooking?
On the crowd is short. 2 away. I'll tell you who else is cooking. Let's take a game break back in our studio. Jeannie Zalasko.
We've been working on this one for a while, Tom. Another day, another Cy Young winner on the mound in the NLCS. Atlanta's Tom Glavine started his postseason with a 6-hit shutout of the Astros. Today, he will try to even up the series with the Diamondbacks. The championship doubleheader continues with Game 2, the NLCS at 8 Eastern on Fox. Tom.
Jeannie, thank you. We'll look forward to watching that one later on this afternoon, early tonight. From Bank One Ballpark in Phoenix, Chuck Knobloch, 3 of 3 in the game.
We always talk about him having to be the catalyst at the top of the lineup. First pitch of the ball game, he whacks it into center field. Then a smash down to Bell that drove in a run. Bell had to wait until dark and sneak up on that ball after it hit him, and then just a blooper down the line. But because he's got such great speed, into second with a double. Joe Torre talked about Ichiro and how he can change the game, not only because of his speed when he's up at the plate, but once he gets on base, he makes so many things happen. You got to worry about him running. You got to worry about how he can score on almost any ball hit. Same thing for Chuck Knobloch.
Runner at second, 2 away. Knobloch jammed with a pitch into left field, and trying to make the over-the-shoulder play is David Bell. Guillen also went out there to try and get it. It's almost exactly where Knobloch was able to drop one in for a hit.
Well, this is such a tough play for a third baseman. That's why you generally see the shortstop come over and take this ball. Guillen should have called him off because he has the angle. Watch Bell going out there. Now he's over the shoulder. He's like he's going for a touchdown pass now. He's trying to breadbasket the ball. It's way too tough a play. Whereas the shortstop's coming over, he has a great angle on the ball. The ball's in front of him the entire way. Guillen's got to know that he's got to really bust to get there because it's too tough a play for his third baseman to make.
0-1 pitch. And it's off the corner outside.
You know, and then Bell, just because he said you should have been over here to help me out, I'm going to step on your foot. Get over here next time.
He didn't flinch. It could turn out to be a missed opportunity for the Mariners. Let's see if the Yankees cash in. Breaking ball away. 2-1 to Knobloch.
Carlos Guillen is playing fairly up the middle, so it was a long run for him to make there. You see where he is playing shortstop, but that is a play that the shortstop has to get over and make. That ball was just barely foul.
One hopper. Guillen will make this play, and the inning is over. So Seeley able to pitch out of the leadoff base hit. Ichiro will follow David Bell, then we go to Guillen. The Mariners trail the Yankees 5-2. For our Mariners in-game box score brought to you as well by the New York Stock Exchange. You get a look, not many crooked numbers up there for Seattle. A base hit by Martinez to begin the fifth. He went to third on a double by Cameron. And then scored on the ground out by Olerud, but Buhner a big out, striking out next with Cameron at third.
Most notably, those big goose eggs at the top of the order.
9-1-2. Bell, Ichiro, and then Guillen. Pettit's allowed only 2 hits. In there, a strike to David Bell. Bell, a good, solid player. 15 home runs during the season, 64 runs batted in, a .260 batter.
Ichiro's like a yoga instructor. He never stops stretching the entire day.
On the ground, Soriano throws off balance in time to get David Bell. You hear it all the time. You can't teach athleticism. You're either blessed with it or you're not.
Soriano was actually leaning to his left when this ball was hit, but watch this. Catch the ball, transfer to the hand, throw going away from the play, and get that kind of mustard on it. Great transfer. That's a tough play to make, going away from the ball, that quick of a transfer, and to get that much on your throw. Kid's got a huge future.
Now Ichiro, he takes a fastball inside. He bounced out to third in the opening inning, struck out against Pettit in the fourth. (2-0).
Might look for Ichiro to be a little more patient at the plate this at-bat than he has been in the earlier at-bats.
Bouncing ball on a 2-0. He swung away and is thrown out easily on the ground ball to Soriano. So Pettit has retired Ichiro in all 3 at-bats. Got to wonder about that decision. 2-0 with your team down 2.
Yeah, the guy hit .350 on the season, so you can hard to argue with what he was able to do, but it's a 2-0 pitch to a leadoff hitter when you're getting beat. And it's starting to get late in the game. You need to get something going. You need to continue to make Andy Pettit throw more and more pitches. I never sniffed .350, so.
Well, you sniffed it.
If Ichiro wants to swing, let him swing.
On the outside corner, a strike.
I mean,
to get to the major leagues, you had to be sniffing .350 somewhere.
Nowhere. In my dreams. After the first day of the season sometimes.
Very efficient Andy Pettit here today. Just 72 pitches now, and he's 2 outs deep into the 6th inning.
And that's the point. Ichiro swung at balls early in the count. Booney, seen 2 pitches and 2 at-bats. These guys are up there hacking. You got to get a guy to work.
Oh, 2 to Carlos Guillen. Breaking ball down and in. A lot of the fans fired out to have Guillen back after missing the division series, if you weren't with us, diagnosed with pulmonary tuberculosis at the end of September. Inning over. 1, 2, 3 for Andy Pettit. He struck out 6 in the game. Yankees lead 3-1. We're back to Seattle after a break from your local Fox station. Going enjoying the bright sunshine and some cool lemonade. Temperatures in the mid-50s here at Safeco Field in Seattle for Game 1 of this American League Championship Series. And now on the pitch, a 38-year-old left-hander, Norm Charlton. After a year hiatus from baseball, only was able to pitch in 2 games last year, tried to return to Cincinnati, where he began his major league career and won a World Series win with the Reds in '90. Look at those numbers for Charlton.
Did a great job in relief for Lou Piniella this year with the extra lefty out of the pen. Did not hesitate to go to him. He's nasty in a different way these days. Boy, when he was a member of the Nasty Boys, when they had Dibble and Myers and himself in Cincinnati, those guys all were bringing some gas. Now he's had to adjust, learn how to pitch. He throws the split finger a lot more often, does not throw as hard, tries to get the ball to sink a little more.
Fouled back out of play by Jeter. Only 8 teams in the history of baseball have gone wire to wire, leading their division, winning their division, starting with the very first day of the season and staying there till the final day of the season. Lou Piniella has managed 2 of those teams. Norm Charlton has played on 3 of those teams. Fouled back out of play. Piniella was with Charlton, the 1990 Cincinnati Reds when they did it. Charlton with Baltimore in 1997 when the Orioles did it, and then the 2 reunited this year. This guy's still nasty. Anybody who saw Charlton pitch this year, this guy's got some life left.
Well, it's great to get the opportunity to pitch for a guy that knows you. This is the split finger. Look at the bottom drop out of it. You don't see Jeter out on his front foot very often. Look at him. He can't reach it. Jeter saying, woo, what happened there? He's to getting a piece of that.
Quiet day for Derek Jeter in Game 1 of this American League Championship Series. 0 for 4. And David Justice, a check swing, still holding the bat out there in case they try to appeal. Now they do appeal, and no, says Charlie Rutherford. The Mariners are wondering when they're going to get their first call of the game go in their favor, because they have had none in their favor today so far. And 2 big plays. Rounded down over. 2 away.
You don't need too many calls in your favor when you get the other team to put the ball in play, and you got a guy down there like Allrood that can pick and grin down there at first.
In a little less than 2 hours from now, it'll be Atlanta and Arizona, Game 2 in Phoenix. They'll ship back to Turner Field in Atlanta Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and you and I will be flip-flopping over to the National League Championship Series over the weekend. Very much looking forward to that as well. Strike 1. It's interesting in this year's LCS, you have 2 American League teams that play like National League teams. The 2 teams in the National League Championship Series are more of the old-style American League-like clubs. Braves with next to no speed, and really only Tony Womack and maybe Reggie Sanders for Arizona.
Talk about an Arizona team that doesn't score a lot of runs, and they're still able to win games because of their unbelievable pitching.
Same for the Braves. I mean, the Atlanta Braves won their division going away, and in a third of their games they scored 2 runs or less and won the division.
That's some pitches.
Staggering. 2-1 to Bernie Williams. Now 2-2 as he fouls it off. So now Norm Charlton trying to set down the Yankees here in the top half of the 7th inning. His team down 2.
One of the things that this does, the move by Piniella to bring Charlton in, you turn Bernie around to the other side where he's not as comfortable. Posada has to jump to the other side of the plate where he's not as comfortable. And then they'll start ping-ponging back and forth out of that bullpen. These two clubs with the two best bullpens in the American League.
Why both managers were telling us before the game, it is imperative to get a lead. For the Yankees, you know about Mendoza, Stanton, and Rivera. And of course, for the Mariners, the #1 bullpen in the major leagues this season, the former Yankee Jeff Nelson, the left-hander Arthur Rhodes, and then the closer Sasaki. Good at bat by Bernie Williams. He draws a 2-out walk.
This is where Norm Charlton has to be real careful, I think. Tino Martinez, who made a nice adjustment in his swing, bails a little bit more on the ball in. People were starting to get in on him a little bit. Charlton needs to make sure that if he's going to throw that fastball, to keep it away from Martinez, as we have been in this game earlier. Try to make him hit it to the deepest part of the field into center field and not let him get out in front of one and pull it into right field and possibly hit it into the seats.
Charlton okays his sign with Dan Wilson. Bernie a lead over at first. And a fastball high and away. 1-0 to Tino Martinez, who twice has struck out looking, and then that fly ball you talked about in the center. Tino's had pretty good success against Norm Charlton. 6 hits and 17 at bats. That's a .353 batting average. Now the 1-0. Fouled out of play. See Charlton still rushing it up there at 92. You're talking about a guy who's had to deal with shoulder surgery, elbow surgery. But at 38, continues to come back and still has life in that left arm. 1-1. That one sailed up and in.
Bernie Williams only stole 11 bases this year. But we've seen how Joe Torre, when he gets a lead, likes to be more aggressive. Especially when you get 2 outs, to get to a point like this, to get yourself in scoring position.
Popped up, Cameron in short center, a late break, look out, and Guillen able to go out and get it to end the inning.
We've been critical of Guillen earlier for not getting where he was supposed to go, but he certainly did on that one because Cameron got a bad jump.
We're going to keep it right here for the singing of America the Beautiful. Sing along with Ray Charles. Championship Series, a heart of the order due up for the Mariners against Andy Pettitte. And a fastball is in there at the belt, a strike to Brett Boone. 3-1, the Yankees in front. Run scoring single in the second by Knobloch, 2-run homer by O'Neill in the fourth. Made it 3-0 Yankees as it's 1-1. A single by Edgar Martinez, a double by Cameron put him at second and third, and Seattle could only score 1 run with nobody out back in the 5th inning.
I think, Tommy, that Booney's made up his mind here in this at-bat to start thinking about going the other way. You'll see as the pitch approaches, he crouches down a little bit more. He looks like he's diving a little bit more. And to me, those are good signs for him to think going the other way.
Big cut right there and fouled it straight back on the 2-1. That'll even a count. Boone to be followed by Edgar Martinez and Mike Cameron. Andy Pettitte has only allowed 2 base hits. They came back-to-back to open the 5th inning. He has struck out 6 and walked only 1. By far the best Game 1 performance in Pettitte's postseason career. That one line, hard into left field, a base hit by Boone. And now the Mariners will send a tying run to the plate here in the bottom half of the 7th inning.
Great at bat by Boone, and Pettitte was doing exactly what he's been trying to do all day long. He'd only given up 2 hits. Pitched, threw the ball away in order to pitch inside. Watch Boone go down and get this one. Pretty good breaking ball. Left it out over the plate just a little bit. Great balance by Boone. Picked the foot up, put it straight back down. And I just think because he was thinking more up the middle, he was able to pull the breaking ball without trying to reach out and pull it into left field.
Now Edgar, 1 of 2 in a game, has struck out, singled, and scored the only Seattle run. Ball 1 up and in. Edgar Martinez during the regular season hit 23 home runs, knocked in 116. He had 2 home runs in the series against Cleveland.
This situation plays right into what Edgar's strengths are. Look at the huge hole on the right side of the infield. He likes to hit the ball the other way.
Pulled this one even to count. Mel Stottlemyre, the Yankee pitching coach, calling to make sure that Ramiro Mendoza, who is getting loose in the bullpen, is just about set to go.
You talked about Martinez's 23 home runs. He is one of the best in the game. People know he loves to hit the ball the other way, but if you try to get him inside, he will cheat and pull the ball.
Sounded like he broke his bat. Yes, he did. Count of 1-2. Time to take a look at our game summary brought to you by Nissan. Pettit has been terrific. A solid outing by Aaron Seeley. Allowed 3 runs in 6 innings of work. O'Neill, the big blow, a 2-run homer. Knobloch, 3 hits, including an RBI. The only Seattle run on a ground out by Olerud. Through the years, Edgar Martinez in the postseason has worn out Yankee pitching. In 11 games, he's hit 3 homers and knocked in 14.
One of the things that has neutralized the speed game of the Seattle Mariners. Obviously, they're behind in the game, a little tougher to be aggressive. But Andy Pettit was one of the best moves of a lefty in the game of baseball. Very deceptive. They call it a balk move. Where that front foot actually steps a lot closer to home than it does to first base. They let those lefties get away with that, and he's one of the best at it.
He may have broken another bat. He did. Edgar just flipping it away.
This is why Andy Pettit has been effective all day long. The breaking ball down and in we talked about. Nasty down and in. Gets in on the hands of Edgar. Edgar still trying to take that ball the other way. This is classic though right now because Pettit's at his best with 2 strikes and so is Martinez.
One-two again. Breaking ball bounces in the dirt. Nice play there by Posada, preventing Boone from advancing on to second base. Cameron waits in the on-deck circle. And now to 2-2. Ball 3. Martinez plants a right foot, now to left. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Brett Boone over at first, and the Yankees lead 3-1. We're in the 7th. Struck him out. 7th strikeout of the game for Andy Pettit. Martinez didn't even have a good swings in that at bat.
Andy Pettit's been so tough all day long. There's the fastball up and in, misses for ball 1, then he fouls the ball off. Fouls another one off, breaks his bat. Now he goes the other way and breaks his bat. Now we get going. The slider down and in, another breaking ball down and in one more time, and Edgar can't hang off, can't stay off of that one. so tough, especially 3-2 comes with the breaking ball. A lot of confidence for Pettit.
Breaking ball too low for Mike Cameron. You saw the pitch count, still very low for Andy Pettit. Only 87 pitches now in the game. Mendoza is ready in the bullpen. Cameron hit 25 home runs during the regular season. 1-1. Last year in the American League Championship Series, the Yankees pitching completely shut down the Mariner offense. Check swing. Did he go? They appeal? No. In the 6 games last year of the American League Championship Series, the Mariners only hit .215 against Yankee pitching. Scored 18 runs in the 6 games.
Pettit starting to sound like Monica Seles out there on the mound, grunting. Dave Steve used to do that to try to get you to think he's throwing a fastball all the time. He'd grunt and then throw you about a 76-mile-an-hour changeup, thinking that you would swing at the voice. I always did.
3-1 to Cameron with Boone over at first base. On the ground at third, could be 2. There's 1. Throw to first, double play. So Pettit pitches around a leadoff single, fanning Edgar Martinez and getting Cameron for the first time today around the horn. And we move to the 8th inning. The Yankees still in front, 3-1. After the 8th inning, game 1 of this American League Championship Series, a best of 7 after leaving the division series, which was a best of 5 format. And if you're wondering, it goes 2-3-2 as far as the home field is concerned. Posada looks at a strike from Norm Charlton. The first 2 games will be played here at Safeco Field. The next 3, should it go that far, will be played at Yankee Stadium over the weekend. And if it goes to game 6 and 7, right back here. Oh, and 2, baseball going back to something that should have been done through the years, where like the NFL, like the NBA, you earn the right to have home field advantage by your record during the regular season. The team with the best record gets to play at home. 1 and 2.
Seems like an easy concept, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't know how it ever got so hard to figure. Shane Spencer standing in the on-deck circle and appears that he will bat for Paul O'Neill. A good day for O'Neill. 2 hits, including a 2-run homer.
Let's go back to the inning double play by Pettit. Quality pitch to Cameron, and the thing that makes this a double play ball is the one big hop to Brocious. But look at Brocious' glove. It's like a board he's catching it off. Look at how flat it is. He just gets in there, really doesn't catch it. All he does is stop it, grab it with his meat hand, and then get it over to Soriano for the double play. Pettit, you think he likes it? Oh yeah, baby. Now, you'll teach a lot of your middle infielders, especially on a double play ball, when they throw you the ball, you don't ever really catch it. You're just stopping it with your glove. You get your hand in there to grab the ball and throw it. That was a pretty good illustration of what Brocious did right there on that play.
Excellent work by Charlton out of the bullpen. And now our AT&T call to the bullpen. We'll bring on right-hander Jose Paniagua. Top of the 8th inning here in Seattle, game 1 in this American League Championship Series. 3-1 Yankees in front, and now the hard-throwing right-hander Jose Paniagua Takes over on the mound. He'll be facing the pinch hitter Shane Spencer. Strike one. Maniago claimed on waivers by Seattle from Tampa Bay 3 years ago. Saw those numbers. His ERA skyrocketed towards the end of the season. He had a brutal month of September.
All of a sudden he couldn't throw strikes, and then when he did, they got whacked. He's got excellent movement on his ball.
His ERA over the last month and a half of the season, after having a 2.08 ERA in July, was 6.5 the last 2 months.
Now take a look at this pitch. It's good hard fastball, good movement, good late movement. Just blew it right by Spencer.
1-2 pitch. Fouled back out of play.
As you mentioned, even in a divisional series, they were worried about whether or not maybe he had a tired arm. His ball wasn't moving as much as it did. He got into that series with Cleveland, just pitched 2 innings. Gave up 4 hits and 6 runs.
He's been brought on to face a right-handed batting Spencer, and then Brocious next. Another righty after that, and Soriano, 2-2. Spencer appearing in a league championship series for the first time since '99. You may remember he had the injured knee last year. Fouled back out of play. Well, Lupinello beginning to pace a little bit in that Mariner dugout now. His team trailing by 2. And we're in the 8th inning. In the air, right center field. Ichiro shy of the warning track, will get there. Next week, it's a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader, beginning with America's #1 pregame show as JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris get you ready for kickoff. Then Kurt Warner and the Rams take on Curtis Martin and the Jets. Then Brett Favre, looking like a league MVP yet again, will take on Randy Moss and the Vikings. More other regional action. Coverage gets underway noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, only on Fox. Ball 1 to Scott Brocious.
Speed makes such a great difference in this game. When you look at a guy like Ichiro, we already talked about how great outfielder he already is and the speed that he has, but he was fooled by that ball. But he was able to outrun his mistake. Still got back there to make the play. One and one.
Well, they were calling for rain all day. That's exactly what it did here yesterday when we got in. But for the most part, it has been a lovely afternoon here in Seattle. Soft liner right at the shortstop Keane. Outstanding relief work by Charlton and Paniagua. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Olerud, Buhner, Wilson coming up. 3-1 Yankees. As they say here in Seattle, they're trying to get the mojo working at Safeco Field. Their Mariners trailing by 2 after 7.5. Shane Spencer remains in the game after batting for Paul O'Neill in right field. And it's still Andy Pettitte, who in 31 starts during the regular season only completed 2 games.
We saw Joe Torre bring Rivera in for 2 2-inning saves in the divisionals.
Breaking ball in there, strike to Olerud. And of course, that is something that Joe Torre has done regularly. At least more than 3 outs as far as Mariano Rivera is concerned. when they get to the playoffs.
More 2-inning saves for the Yankees than any team in baseball. Olerud, with his 21 homers, only has 3 of them against left-handed pitching this year.
One to Olerud. Bouncing ball right side. Soriano throws him out, 1 away. Let's send it for a game break back to Jeannie Salasco. Hi, Jeannie.
Hi, Tom. Coming up next on Fox, Chipper Jones will work his bat. Tom Glavine will be on the mound, both doing their part to even up the series with the Diamondbacks. It's Game 2 of the NLCS, the nightcap of the championship doubleheader, getting underway 8 Eastern on Fox, Tom.
Looking forward to that, Jeannie. Thank you very much. And there you get a look at the matchup. Miguel Batista threw in Game 2 of the division series out of the bullpen and then came back and pitched brilliantly as the Game 3 starter. Jay Buhner has seen 7 pitches from Andy Pettitte, every single one of them strikes. 8 for 8. He struck out on 3 pitches in the 3rd, and with a runner at 3rd and only 1 out in the 5th, struck out on 3 pitches again. Now he's behind 0-2.
Buhner's looking for one mistake. Hasn't seen one in any of his at-bats.
In the air, short right field. Spencer coming on. 2 away. You know, when you have the Mariners, who won 116 games during the season, the Yankees are 3-time defending world champions. Who's the underdog? We asked Lou Piniella that question before today's game.
It's got to be us. And the reason being is the Yankees have had this mystique about them in postseason, the success that they've had. They've had an unparalleled run. I think probably the Lakers are embarking on that type of journey right now in pro basketball. Outside of that, you see different winners coming out of pro sports every year. And the Yankees, my God, 4 world championships in 5 years, and now they're in position, if they get through us, to try to do it again. So we have to be the underdogs coming into the series, but I think we're going to play pretty darn good.
Sense of humor that Lou Piniella still has. Said even during the bad times in the division series with Brett Boone and striking out in 11 at-bats of the 21 that he had, he kind of slid up next to him and they were laughing about it. He says, geez, all those at-bats you've had, you've been looking like Zorro, striking out so much. You got to have a little bit of a sense of humor to play this game as well, especially in the pressure-packed situations.
Saw the double barrel action there in the bullpen. The left-hander Mike Stanton, the right-hander Mariano Rivera. Pettitte has gone 2 outs, nobody on here in the 8th inning. Short center field. Soriano out to get it, and Pettitte with a perfect 8. We go to the 9th. Game 1, American League Championship Series. And the defending champs on top, 3-1. Top of the 9th inning we go here at Safeco Field in Seattle. 3-1. Yankees leading. Paniagua, the 3rd pitcher used by Lou Piniella in the game. Breaking ball, strike 1 to Alfonso Soriano, who's 1 for 3, singled back in the 2nd inning. 0-2. That ball pulled down the left field line, hit very well towards the corner, and it's off the wall. Soriano, a big turn at first base and slams on the brakes. Well, we're not sure if Soriano may have lost his footing coming out of the bag. I wasn't able to tell, Stephen. I thought that's automatic double. Even played well off the wall and left.
He might have thought he hit this far enough to get a home run. You see him? I think he thought he got it all. A little top spin on this ball. You see him? Oh, yeah, he thinks it was gone. This is one of the fastest guys in baseball. It hits the Yankee sign. Boink, comes back down. And then Buhner, as we talked about before, with a great arm. That's the kind of stuff that Joe Torre does not enjoy. And you got plenty of time to run around the bases after that ball goes over the wall. Of course, he's got 43 stolen bags on the year. Probably just steal second anyway.
Yeah, but you know right now, if he's where he should be, standing at second base, and there is no debate that he ought to be standing at second base, they'd be asking Knobloch to bunt him down to third.
And Paniagua knows that his only chance of giving his team a chance to win is that if he holds them scoreless this inning.
Steve, you've been around. I mean, they have a Knobloch show bunt there, ball one. I mean, with a young player, one of his teammates may come over there, right, and say, hey, look now, rather than a manager.
Oh, yeah, it's not going to be Joe that does it. Somebody else on this team, the leadership. And I'd be surprised, I think, right here if Knobloch bunts. I think they give him a chance to steal a base. You know, we just saw it in the series before with the Oakland A's, and when Giambi thought that Miguel Tejada should have went to third base on a ball that he hit. He went up and talked to him himself. He knows he made a mistake right now. Nobody really has to say anything to him, but someone should.
They pitch out. And now a lot of options for Joe Torre with a count of 2-0. They're not going to pitch out again. A lot of times you won't see a team turn a base runner loose 2-0. They'll give the man at the plate a chance to get something to hit and drive it somewhere. For the Yankees, they can do a lot of things when you're up by 2 runs and nobody out.
Just gives you a chance to be so much more aggressive when you have the lead.
Let's see if he's running. Paniagua running one when they're the same thing. Runner is going. And Knobloch swinging away. It's a fly ball into short left field. One away. For authentic merchandise of Major League Baseball, log on to MLB.com. Major League Baseball. Connect with it.
You know, Tom, earlier we talked about Knobloch, who's had a nice day. We talked about him sometimes getting a little too big and trying to hit the ball out of the park. 2-0, come out of your shoes, swing right there. And he says, I didn't get it.
Quiet day for Jeter with a bat. He's fly to center, popped to second, grounded to short, and struck out.
There's no question in my mind that Soriano's going to try to steal a base. It just, for him, it's when he feels like he has the best jump or when he feels like the count is in his favor to give him the best opportunity to steal that base.
There he goes. They pitch out. And Wilson throws in the dirt to second base. Well, they guess right. Soriano can fly.
Well, you wonder why this guy stole so many bases. Really good jump right there, even on a semi-slide step. That's some explosive speed. We're talking about a pitch out there. Good jump, good crossover. Excellent, excellent form on the stolen base. And I mean, we pitched out here and you can't get him. Yeah, the determination on his face coming right into your living room there. Now they won't yell at him quite so much.
1-0 pitch. Too low.
Don't think that Soriano won't steal third as well. And I think that's what Guillen is coming in to talk to Paniagua about right now. You better two-look the guy. You can't just one-look him every time. And by that, I mean you go into your stretch, you look at the guy at second base, you look back to home, and you pitch. If you get into that kind of a pattern, the guy will go as soon as you turn your head back to the plate. You have to surprise him every once in a while, look back there twice so he doesn't get the huge jump.
Well, there's one look. But a long look, and Jeter turned loose on a 2-0, fouls it out of play.
Well, there's the play right there, Derek Jeter, in Game 3 that totally turned the series around. And then in Game 5, tumbling into the seats, head over tea kettle there, making a great play, ended up in the seats. But That play that Jeter made, you know, people are saying, is that the most athletic play you've ever seen? And I say no. I think we've seen even Derek Jeter do more athletic things. But when you add in the anticipation and the instincts that it took to make that play, he had to make 3 decisions before he ever went and got that ball. He was originally the guy that should have been covering second base if the throw comes in there. Then he was a cutoff man to third base if the throw came there. And then he ran all the way across the field and made that play. That's what makes it one of the most unbelievable plays I've ever seen.
Now back out of play, 2-2.
Still think he would have been a good option quarterback at the University of Michigan if he didn't want to play this game.
It's interesting, depending on what the Yankees decide to do at third base next year, whether they bring Brocious back or not, he might be playing next to the former quarterback at the University of Michigan. Their highly touted prospect, Drew Henson.
People have seen him play, did not have a good year, but said there's some talent there, some raw talent.
2-2 to Jeter. Popped it up. Ichiro coming on. He's got second out of the inning.
If you're wondering, as our stat man extraordinaire, Mark Wagner, just handed me a piece of paper, Ichiro has stolen third base 14 times this year. Soriano has stolen third base 11 times. With 2 outs now, not figuring to go anywhere.
Well, only time will tell, depending upon what happens in the bottom of the 9th inning, but certainly seeing something to remember. Soriano walking halfway up to first base, leading off this inning. It should have been a double. It changes the whole inning, because you know they asked Knobloch to bunt him over. That fly ball by Jeter maybe gets him in. That could be a big tack-on run, as they call it, but it may not matter. Strike called on the outside corner. At the end of the day, even if they win, it matters to Joe Torre.
Yes, it does. That's just about playing fundamental baseball, playing hard. That's what Joe Torre will ask of you. Play hard for us. Mariners come in and get 2 runs and tie this up, or somehow get 3 and go on to win it. Then it becomes a huge run.
David Justice 0 for 3 has drawn a 1. Hooked into right field, a base hit. Soriano being waved around. Here comes a throw to the plate, not in time. Throw down to second base, and he's safe there. A base hit with 2 away by Justice scores Soriano, making it 4-1 Yankees. So they get the run in after all. What a big 2-out base hit by David Justice.
And what a big home run in Game 5 will get you. It gets you into the number 3 spot so you can be more productive. Justice just hooks this ball, takes a funny hop on Ichiro, but watch him spin to make the throw. Great athletic move right there. Look at the strong throw. And then Wilson down to second base. Once again, Guillen not really on the bag. Here's Justice hustling into second base. And Guillen probably had to move up the line right there a little bit so that the ball didn't tail into Justice.
Now Bernie Williams, first pitch swinging, fouls it out of play. So there is that tack-on run for the Yankees, and they lead by 3 here in the top of the 9th inning.
Justice chatting with the umpires out there, saying I had just enough to get here.
Strike call. 0-2 on Williams.
I don't know, Justice had a pretty good day today. I saw him last night at dinner at the famous Metropolitan Grill here in Seattle, and maybe that good steak dinner gave him just enough to get in there at second.
And that line might get you a free dinner tonight.
And I'll be paying.
That's a first. Here's the 0-2. Fly ball center field. Cameron backpedaling. He's got it. And that'll end the inning. But the Yankees with a big run. A 2-out base hit by Justice. Final chance for the Mariners, trailing by 3. Bottom half of the ninth inning, the Yankees in front 4-1. Andy Pettitte spectacular here today. Allowed only 1 run in 8 innings. And he'll give way to the best closer in postseason baseball history, Mariano Rivera. Look at those numbers.
There's not a lot of them up there. They're small. ERA .66. You know, I think a lot of people would say, well, you know what, come on, Pettitte's pitched a great game. Run him back out there for the ninth. Give him a chance to get the complete game victory. Joe doesn't take any chances, and that's what's won him the championships. He goes with the sure thing. He goes with what he knows. Hey, Pettitte could go out there, give up a couple quick base hits, then you bring Rivera in. If he doesn't have his great stuff, you end up losing games. Joe doesn't take any chances to lose the games.
Mark McLemore batting for David Bell. And there's ball 1 inside. The Yankees since 1996 have been absolutely unbelievable in the postseason, winning 4 World Series in the last 5 years. They played 14 series total, won 13 of them. That one bunted and caught by Rivera behind the mound. Of course, the last time they were eliminated came in 1997 by the Cleveland Indians.
This is a nice idea by McLemore to try to get his way on base. When he bunts this ball, though, he's trying to pull this ball with him down to the first base side. Instead, he pops it right up over Rivera's head. Rivera with some pretty good athleticism right there. He's throwing the ball. He's headed towards home plate. The ball gets bunted. He switches directions, turns around and catches it. Because if that ball drops, it's probably a base hit. Jeter's got a long way to go to get it.
The amazing thing about this Yankee run is it goes to 1-1 on Ichiro. Since 1996, they are 28-7 on the road in postseason play. Slapped into left field by Ichiro, a base hit down the line. He'll make the turn and come into second base with a stand-up double. First hit and 4 at-bats by Ichiro.
As the 45 come from behind wins, 4th in the major leagues, 49 for the Yankees. That's tops. They're not worried about a come from behind win right now.
One hopper. Rivera looking Ichiro back to the bag, and Stan Javier, the pinch hitter for Guillen, is thrown out. And the Mariners out of their final out of the game.
Now you bring Javier up there to hit from the left side. There is a certain number of people out there that say that maybe your best opportunity against Rivera, if you're going to pinch hit, is throw a righty up there. Rivera throws almost exclusively one pitch, a cutter. Cutter moving away from a righty to the bigger part of the bat.
That one thrown to the screen, and Ichiro will advance on a third. A wild pitch by Rivera.
To a left-handed hitter, that cutter's always bearing in on the hands of the hitter. And he has an uncanny ability to get that ball in on the hands of a left-handed hitter. Some people say, hey, throw your righties up there. You might have a better shot at getting hits off this guy.
And there's a strike. Seattle won 6 games this season when trailing after 8 innings. You may be saying, well, big deal. Well, it was a big deal. It was the most in the major leagues. Last season, they were 0-61. That one gets away, and Ichiro is going to score, making it a 2-run game. Well, now to borrow the old cliche, you need a bloop and a blast.
Right, and Booney maybe have to change his way of thinking up there. This ball gets way away. You talk about him throwing cutters all the time. This ball sails in. That's a cutter that went the other way on Boone. You see the rotation of the pitch, and Booney's leaning out over That's why it surprised him so much, and it surprised Posada. Ichiro alertly taking home. But Booney now, as you said, has got to change his mentality up there. He's got to work for a base hit. He's got to become a guy instead of trying to hit a gap and drive the ball. He needs to just get the ball out there and find a base hit so someone up behind him can then maybe jump the yard.
Let's take a look at our Energizer play of the game. It was 1-0 Yankees in front in the 4th inning, and Paul O'Neill clubbed a 2-run home run to the seats in right, making it 3-0. Huge swing on a 2-1 pitch by Boone. Look at those numbers for Mariano Rivera. 1 blown save. It came in Game 4 at Cleveland. Back in 1997, he allowed the game-tying home run to Sandy Alomar Jr. in the bottom of the 8th. That was the last year the Yankees lost a postseason series. The tying run will come to the plate in the form of Edgar Martinez.
We talked about times when Edgar Martinez might look to cheat and pull the ball. This would be one of those times.
Martinez waits. First pitch fastball in the inside corner, a strike. Broken bat roller to the right side, gobbled up, the feed to Rivera in time, and that's a ball game. The Yankees win the opener in this American League Championship Series. 4-2 the final. You said it before the ball game, Steve. It seems like whenever there is a big game over the last 4 years, for sure anyway, in the postseason, and the Yankees are involved, the Yankees win the game.
And the great road record that you talked about, anytime that you can do what the Yankees did, play in Oakland on Sunday, go back home for a huge Game 5 on Monday, get back on a plane, come all the way to Seattle, and not be sluggish the next day and go out and do your business. You got the makings of a championship team, don't you?
They're undefeated during the postseason on the road this year. Don't forget, coming up next at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, right here on Fox, it'll be Game 2 in the National League Championship Series. The Atlanta Braves trying to even that best-of-7 setting. It's Bob Brentley's Arizona Diamondbacks at a game apiece. Tom Glavine against Miguel Batista. We've anticipated this series between the Yankees and the Mariners, the 2 top teams in the American League for the 2nd consecutive year. And Game 1 belongs to New York. For Steve Lyons and our entire crew, I'm